are you doing? Would you be able to do this every day? At least even if you could just arrange people to come, it would be nice. Maybe speak to the other actually, that would be nice. I don't want to. Enthusiastic.
Arati Karana Brahma Aditeva Gane Aditeva Gane Narari Adikori Chamaradulaya Hari Hari Kori Chamaradulaya Sanjaya Mukunda Basu Koshiyadi Kaya Koshiyadi Kaya Shankar Bhaje Kanta Bhaje Bhaje Karatala Madhura Mridanga Bhaje Paramarasala Paramarasala Shankha Bhaje Ganta Bhaje Madhur, Madhur, Madhur Bhaje Shankha Bhaje Kanta Bhaje Madhur, Madhur, Madhur Bhaje Shankha Bhaje Kanta Bhaje Madhur, Madhur, Madhur Bhaje Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Pahukati Chandra Chini Vadana Ujjwala Vadana Ujjwala Kala Deshe Banamala Kore Jalamala Kore Jalamala Shiva Shukanarada Preme Gada Gada Bhakti Vinoda Dekhe Gaurara Sampada Kiba Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Aratika Shobha Chande Aratika Shobha Janavi Tathavane Jagomana Loka Jagajana Manalopa Shapa Jagojana Manalapa Gaurangera Rotikshapa Jagojana Manalapa Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashadarashadarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Prabhu Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Nanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Parivakacharya Asata Shishimatis Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Kote Vaishnavinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navad Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Bhaktivedanta Manor Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Yamuna Mai Ki Jai Tulasi Devi Ki Jai Vrinda Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhaktavinda Ki Jai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Namaste Narasimhaya Hiranyakashipu Vakshaha Ito Nrsimha Parato Nrsimho Yato Yato Yamitato Nrsimha Bahi Nrsimho Hitahi Nrsimho Narasimhavadim Sharanam Prapadye Savakara Kamala Haridakam Advuta Shringam Talita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Bhaktivedanta ki jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The big ones.
Yeah.
The big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just from first like this. Yeah. Yeah. This is right. Actually, this side is a little bit broken, and actually it's better to if you it's.
It's there. Sorry for that.
Lift it up.
He's going.
That's it.
He's not here.
We got you, Mohan. No running for you. It's you.
You're going to do the mock or a sweep.
I'll sweep this prayer and I know. What? No. What?
Yes, sir. Let me do that.
Or maybe you can start marking from up there as well, meet me halfway. Then, well, that
wet.
Where went from before? They don't have class in here.
Yeah. Not me. I'm not qualified.
You don't have classes here.
Yeah.
Who's it with?
Ram.
You're about to mock all that.
Yeah.
No, no, sorry. My legs are so dirty, it's making marks.
It's what?
My legs are.
Yeah, because you've been outside.
Take it.
Yeah, it's done. It's finished now. It's a bit quiet. You'll have to mark the water.
Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining today. We're going to have Bhagavad Gita class. And before we start, we will just sing a prayer. Do you have... I can actually give you... So, okay. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radha Gokula Nanda Sri Radha. Jaya Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Gauranita, 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 Jaya Gauranita. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtatarshya Shishmat, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtatarshya Shishmat, His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki. Vrindavan Dham Ki. Mayapur Dham Ki. Jagannath Kshetra Dham Ki. Ganga Mai Ki. Yamuna Mai Ki. Tulsi Maharani Ki. Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna one more time. So before we start, we'll just say some invocation prayers, and I would like to ask you for your blessing so that we can discuss Bhagavad Gita as it is and learn something from that.
Maybe you could explain what these invocation prayers are.
Okay. So we will say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, which means we are offering our obeisances to the Supreme Lord, and we are asking for His blessings to enable us to study this sacred literature. Is that all right? Okay. So we have actually Bhagavad Gitas there. Maybe would you be okay to get one for Abhi? Yeah. Okay, so if you can... Yeah, okay. So if you can repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yes, so today we are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 6, entitled Dhyana Yoga, and verse 37. $6.37. Oh. Found it? Chapter 6 and You can try 3, 4, 6. I don't know if it is the same. Yeah, I think it's the same book. So 3, 4, 6. Yeah. It's not there? 3, 4, 6, yeah. So this chapter 6, verse 37.
Verse 37.
Yes. Found it? Okay. Okay. Okay, so I'll start reciting. Arjuna uvacha ayati shraddhayo peto yoga chalita manasaha aprapya yoga samsiddhim kam gatim Krishna gacchati. So if you could repeat after me, line by line. Arjuna uvacha ayati shraddhayo peto yoga chalita manasaha aprapya yoga samsiddhim kam gatim Krishna gacchati. Anyone would like to try to recite? Arjuna uvacha ayati shraddhayo peto yoga chalita manasaha aprapya yoga samsiddhim kam gatim Krishna gacchati. Yeah, actually the recitation of the Sanskrit is very purifying. Even if we don't understand, or even if, it's not perfect, our pronunciation is not perfect, still it's very purifying, because Sanskrit language is the language from the spiritual world. So it's very special.
I can try.
Okay.
Do I have to sing it as well?
Whatever you feel comfortable, yeah.
Arjuna uvacha
Arjuna uvacha
ayati shraddhayo peto
ayati shraddhayo peto
yoga chalita
yoga chalita manasaha
aprapya yoga samsiddhim
aprapya yoga samsiddhim
kam gatim Krishna gacchati.
kam gatim Krishna gacchati. Well done. Thank you very much. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Arjuna said, O Krishna, what is the destination of the unsuccessful transcendentalist, who in the beginning takes to the process of self-realization with faith, but who later desists due to worldly-mindedness, and thus does not attain perfection in mysticism? Abhi, would you like to read the purport? 637, yes. Yeah, but she has a mic, that's why. You have a mic, if you don't mind using it, yeah.
Hare Krishna. The path of self-realization or mysticism is described in the Bhagavad Gita. The basic principle of self-realization is knowledge that the living entity is not this material body, but that he is different from it, and that his happiness is in eternal life, bliss and knowledge. These are transcendental, beyond both body and mind. Self-realization is sought by the path of knowledge, by the practice of the Eightfold System, or by Bhakti Yoga. In each of these processes, one has to realize the constitutional position of the living entity, his relationship with God, and the activities whereby he can re-establish the lost link and achieve the highest perfectional stage of Krishna consciousness. Following any of the above-mentioned three methods, one is sure to reach the supreme goal sooner or later. This was asserted by the Lord in the second chapter. Even a little endeavor on the transcendental path offers a great hope for deliverance. Out of these 3 methods, the path of Bhakti Yoga is especially suitable for this age because it is the most direct method of God realization. To be doubly assured, Arjuna is asking Lord Krishna to confirm his former statement. One may sincerely accept the path of self-realization, but the process of cultivation of knowledge and the practice of the 8-fold yoga system are generally very difficult for this age. Therefore, despite constant endeavor, one may fail for many reasons. First of all, one may not be sufficiently serious about following the process. To pursue the transcendental path is more or less to declare war on the illusory energy. Consequently, whenever a person tries to escape the clutches of the illusory energy, she tries to defeat the practitioner by various allurements. A conditioned soul is already allured by the modes of material energy, and there is every chance of being allured again, even while performing transcendental disciplines. This is called yogak kalita manasa, deviation from the transcendental path. Arjuna is inquisitive to know the results of deviation from the path of self-realization.
Thank you very much. So one more time the translation. Arjuna said, "O Krishna, what is the destination of the unsuccessful transcendentalist who in the beginning takes to the process of self-realization with faith, but who later desists due to worldly mindedness and thus does not attain perfection in mysticism?" Yeah, so I hope we can have some discussion here now and understand what Srila Prabhupada is trying to tell us, what Krishna is trying to tell us. So, what is the situation here? This chapter is called Dhyana Yoga, which actually describes the meditation, the process of yoga, which means meditation. It refers to Ashtanga Yoga, which is the 8-fold yoga practiced by some, and Krishna is describing to Arjuna what this process takes. And actually Arjuna understands that this is quite a difficult process, and for this day and age it's very difficult to practice because one has to meditate for many years, and in this day and age we actually don't have enough time of life, we don't live long enough. So this meditation is described in this chapter. So, and then Arjuna is asking Krishna in this particular verse, so what happens to someone who is on this path, who is trying to achieve perfection, but who is not successful? He says, what is the destination of the unsuccessful transcendentalist? So, I would like to ask you actually, what do you understand? What does it mean, transcendentalist? Who is the transcendentalist? What is transcendence?
Someone who goes beyond the material world and becomes enlightened.
Yeah, exactly. Very good. Thank you so much. If you don't mind, using just for the sake of the online.
Should I repeat that?
Yeah, if you don't mind. Yeah.
So the transcendentalist is someone who goes beyond material life and becomes enlightened.
Yes, very good. Yeah, becomes enlightened. Ultimately, this is the goal, to become enlightened. But transcendentalist, like you said, someone who is who goes beyond, or someone who is at least trying to become transcendental. And the transcendental, like you mentioned, means going beyond the matter, going beyond the 3 modes of material nature which are untangling us in this material world. So this is transcendentalist, and like you mentioned, the ultimate goal is to be enlightened, to achieve perfection. So yes, here Arjuna is asking, so at the beginning he takes to the process of self-realization with faith. Again, what is actually this self-realization? What does it mean to become self-realized? If you think about it, it is said to realize the self. Yes, self-realize, to realize the self. And what is the self? Or who is the self? Yes? Prabhu.
So, if this mic does work as well.
Okay. Yeah, from camera there is a mic, yeah.
So we understand that the real self is the soul. That
then we can go beyond that, because then it's not just understanding that we are the soul and the soul is spirit. It's also understanding that what's the identity of the soul. The identity of the soul is being a servant.
Mm-hmm.
So if the identity of the soul is to be a servant, then who is being a servant of?
Mm-hmm.
So in that sense, the real identity is to be a servant of God.
Yeah, thank you. So it sounds like there are two layers of understand of this self-realization, right? You said that first level is to understand I am the soul, the real self. My real self is that I am the soul. This is who I am. But then there is more to it. More to it is to understand what is my occupation as the soul, what is my duty as a soul. And like you said, the duty of the soul is to serve God. So that is the full, complete understanding of the self, that I am the soul, and my duty, my nature is to serve God. This is the self-realization. Anyone would like to add something? Yes.
So if we're supposed, so being self-realized means that we realize our soul who wants to serve God. So does that mean that in order to be self-realized, we always have to be serving God in some shape or form?
So you're asking the question, yeah? If we want to become self-realized, do we have to serve God? Yeah, what do you think?
Well, I just wonder who I am if I'm not serving Krishna.
Yeah, so this is Srila Prabhupada explains that actually our nature is to serve. And even if you don't understand that you are the servant of God, then you are going to serve Maya, you're going to serve others. Like, in this material world, when you look at it, everyone is serving someone. The parents are serving the children are serving the parents, the husband is serving the wife is serving the husband, and when you go to work, you have to serve your boss, your clients. So everyone is serving someone, but this doesn't really bring us to the understanding of who we are really. But if we but at least we can see that we are servants. But if we instead choose to serve God, then we will really become happy in our life. So.
I wonder if you're thinking that if you're self-realized, then that means that yes, you can understand that you're not this body and your nature is spiritual. There's that level of self-realization. But then you can, and that's not the highest level of realization. It's that you can understand that not only am I soul and my nature is spirit, but I was eternally designed to serve God. Almost like having, I suppose, a mobile phone and understanding that yes, you have all these fancy apps and things like that, but the real purpose is to connect to something higher and then to be able to communicate with that, with that entity.
I've heard stories about people becoming enlightened from looking at a flower. Are they serving Krishna when they do that?
I've not heard. I mean, there are. It is said that someone who's already on a very highly advanced stage, that when they do see something in the material world, because they've got so much attraction to Krishna, whenever they see something in the world, it reminds them of Krishna. And the analogy is always given like a mother, that whenever she sees like her baby's shoes or some toy or something like that, it always reminds her of her child. So that's one way. But again, it depends on the practitioner. That is there. Are they aspiring to become destination is to go into this light. But higher than that is to understand that, okay, I'm spirit. There's this effulgence, like we have in this room. There's a lot of light. You can see that clearly. But then the question is that where does that light come from? Just like where does that eternal light come from? It comes from God. So then one understands that, okay, how do I see that person? How do I meet them? What they like? What do they like? So,
Yeah. Okay, so let's carry on with this purport. And maybe what we can do, we can leave the questions for the end, because maybe they will be answered during the course of the class. But let's see. So, so like we mentioned that self-realization, we mentioned what is self-realization. And so it is said that Arjuna is asking Krishna, what happens to someone who is trying on this path of self-realization, but for some reason they desist due to worldly mindedness, and thus don't attain the perfection in mysticism. So this worldly mindedness, what does this mean, to be worldly minded? What do you think? Abhi, maybe read Abhi. You want to take the mic?
From my understanding in this text, worldly mindedness means someone that's thinking in, their vision is kind of in the material nature. They're not thinking spiritually. They're kind of maybe too attached. Maybe they became attached to some material thing. But they're not, because to become self-realized, as we've been talking about, your vision has to be completely spiritual, like you're seeing everything as spiritual, like Prabhu was saying, you see Krishna within everything. But worldly mindedness, I understand to mean thinking on a mundane platform.
Yes, right. So, when we think that, this material world is what we need, that this material world, this material experience can make us happy, and we are still trying to be happy by material means, by getting more money, by becoming more beautiful or more famous, we are thinking we can do it. So sometimes it may happen that somebody will develop more faith in that actually, because we all want to be happy. This is the driver of our actions. And if we decide that, okay, actually, I need to be happy, and I can be happy by achieving some material prosperity, it may happen that somebody will go out of this way. Would you like to add anything else? Anyone? Okay. So then we're going to the purport. And Srila Prabhupada says, the path of self-realization or mysticism is described in the Bhagavad Gita. So, I was thinking about it, how it is described as mysticism. And my thought about it was that actually this knowledge, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, he describes it as Raja Vidyam Raja Guyam Pavitram Adam Uttama. So it is said that this knowledge, Pavitram Idam Uttamam, so this knowledge is the king of education, and it's the most secret of all secrets. So this knowledge about how to get to know God is actually very, very secret. And then it says, the basic principle of self-realization is knowledge that the living entity is not this material body, but that he is different from it, and that his happiness is in eternal life, bliss, and knowledge. So like you mentioned, that this is the basic principle of self-realization, to realize that that I am not the body, I am the soul. But also what is said here, that he is different from it, he's different, we're different from the body, and that our happiness is in eternal life, bliss, and knowledge. So what does this mean? That our happiness is in eternal life, bliss, and knowledge. Any thoughts?
I'm thinking that Srila Prabhupada is explaining that it's not just theoretical that we understand that we're not this body and that we're spirit in nature. But he's also saying that there is more to that life. That's a life of eternity, a life where it's not, where one may think that happiness is, the happiness that we experience here is just a relief of suffering. So the happiness that's described in the spiritual happiness is bliss. So that's such a concentrated form of happiness. And it's filled with knowledge.
Right.
One is cognizant, one is aware of everything around them. Or one understands everything in connection to God, everything in relationship to God.
Yes, thank you. And these are the qualities of the soul. The soul is eternal, and the soul is full of bliss and full of knowledge. So that's why also it is mentioned. These are the qualities, this is the nature of Krishna, actually. This is his nature. And because we are his parts and parcels, that's why we are the same. Just like, there is ocean, and the whole ocean is salt, and one drop of water is also salt. It has the same nature, salty, it has the same nature as the whole ocean. Similarly, we are parts and parcels of Krishna, and because he is Satchitananda, full of bliss, full of knowledge and eternal, we are also like that. So then it is said, these are transcendental beyond both body and mind. Yet these qualities are completely transcendental. They go beyond the body, beyond the mind, which both the mind and the body, they are temporary. We can see that the body changes when you look at your pictures when you were 5 years old, and now it looks different. And the mind, yes, one moment it tells us, yes, do something, do this, and the other moment says, no, don't do this. So the mind is always changing, but the soul is never changing. Self-realization is sought by the path of knowledge, by the practice of the Eightfold System, or by Bhakti Yoga. In each of these processes, one has to realize the constitutional position of the living entity, his relationship with God, and the activities whereby he can re-establish the lost link and achieve the highest perfectional stage of Krishna consciousness. Yeah, so this is the point that I was thinking about when you were having this discussion, because this Srila Prabhupada explains here how we can come to this stage of self-realization. But first of all, I wanted to ask you, what do you understand about the constitutional position of the living entity? What does it mean? What is the constitutional position of the living entity? Because it says one has to realize the constitutional position of the living entity. What is constitutional position? Like, for example, there is water. Water is always, in its original natural state, water is in the state of liquid. This is the nature of the water. This is the constitutional position of water. Or sugar is always sweet. This is the constitution of sugar. And similarly, for us as the soul, our constitutional position is that we're the soul. And the nature of the soul is to serve. So this is our constitutional position. This is our identity, our nature, which cannot be changed by anything. Just like nobody can change the fact that sugar is sweet. In the same way, nobody can change the fact that we are the spirit souls and that we are the servants of God. So it is said that even it is said that in this Eightfold System, in Hatha Yoga and by Bhakti Yoga, one can realize the constitutional position of the living entity, his relationship with God, and the activities whereby he can re-establish the lost link and achieve the highest perfectional stage of Krishna consciousness. Yeah, so like it is said, there are stages. First, we have to understand who we are, what is our constitutional position, that we are the soul and the servant of God. And then we have to re-establish our relationship with God. We have to act according to that position that we are. So like you asked, if we... It is also related to your question that actually to realize that we are servants of God, we have to start serving God. Because it's at the moment we are in a forgetful state of life and forgetful state of mind, and that's why we forgot